Young Edgar Allan Poe has diarrhea. When I awoke that morning at the seminary, I found to my surprise that it was not nearly morning. The clock, in fact, read 3:30 a.m. It was not the rooster that had awoken me, but rather the quivering of a beast within. I unstuck my back from the sheets, drenched with perspiration, and discovered a rapidly mounting insurgency in my bowels. Unsure of exactly how close I would be to the utter devastation of my undergarments, I proceeded to lift my body gradually from the cot, edging my way tightly clenched to the most corner water closet in the dormitory. Once there, and when I had determined that I was out of earshot of my sleeping, dreaming brothers, I let myself go. I released the beast, and like a circus ringman, having unlatched the key to a beast's darkened enclosure, I waited and I waited, until suddenly I heard the tremendous growl of a beast, so terrifying in its announcement that I considered that it might have been the weather. Indeed, it had been overcast for a month, seeming to directly build to this confrontation between my rectum and the quiet stillness of the night, for the night was no longer quiet, nor still, nor clean. I reached up and swept the perspiration from my brow and tried to breathe, to compose myself, before I had unwittingly torn through the night yet again that most evil sound, that barking as if by a great demonic canine imprisoned at the earth's core. And with that, I could not imagine that there could be any beast left in me. It was then that I noticed the stench. It was a deep, warm and ghastly stench that filled the air like an ocean of bubbling belches rising from churning lava. I held my breath, clinging to dear sanity, only to find myself shaken yet again by a third dramatic tearing of the beast within, leaping forth from the demonic egg in which I had encased it, most certainly by way of my somewhat unsavory thoughts about the altar girl. I pleaded and I prayed like I'd never prayed before, for I knew at this moment that there must be a God. There must be a force that is the antagonist of the force I was hereby witnessing, for there could be no matter without antimatter, nor darkness without light, nor sound without silence, nor warmth without cold, and so there must not be this inner beast without that outer solace. And so I pleaded, God, you must save me from myself. You must save me from myself. You must save me from occasional thoughts of what color underwear she's wearing, or if she's wearing any at all. You must forgive these, for I now see the light. And I did, in fact. As I lifted the mop of perspiration-stricken hair from my eyes, I found that the sun was in fact coming up. My legs, numb from sitting for evidently 2 hours in a torrent of psychological and scatological trauma, I regained my bearings and tried to stand. When I had, at the end of 20 minutes, succeeded, I dragged myself like a standing carcass to the sheets from which I had arisen nearly 2 hours prior. And I realized that not only had I awoken that night, but I had experienced an awakening.